Welcome to our studio, Robert Cline Jr.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you for having me.
So you just presented your second album. It's called American Mojo. Is there any kind of recurring concept or idea in this album?
There is. As my second album, I've got to tour around the country, and it led me to a place called Muscle Shoals, Alabama, and it also led me to the Swampers, which are the band that backed up Otis Redding, Aretha Franklin, Etta James, and with this record, I got to record with them and discover the sounds of Muscle Shoals, which really is a big part of American music in general. So all the blues, W.C. Handy, for example, was the first gentleman that wrote down the blues, and he's from the area, but Percy Sledge, and it's just been a real education of what American music really is. And it's interesting because in the States, there's a kind of a generation gap. We kind of take it for granted. And I think that's kind of true on a lot of fronts of what's going on there, is that it's certainly, I guess I certainly didn't realize how close to home and how new rock and roll is. And so a lot of these guys that I'm getting to work with kind of started it. So some of the people that I've worked on this record worked on albums that were the start of this whole global recognition of rock and roll, and I think that's been a pretty powerful thing to understand. And so as my journey, it's kind of my approach of sharing what this spirit of American mojo is in a time when Americana is a term that is widely grasped upon in the States, because there's kind of a resurgence of real music. And I hate to say it, but we've got to come to Europe to be really appreciated. I think the European audience is far more educated, really? In a way. I think so. Because the major news or major radio stations in the States have been kind of bought out, and they kind of push on music that I wouldn't say is my favorite. It's auto-tuned and it's not real. It doesn't have soul. And that's the whole purpose of music, is to connect people and realize that we're all in this thing together. And so that's kind of my thesis of getting to work with some of the greatest people, but also get out on the road and explore this and present it, because it's all about playing live and playing for people.
In your Facebook page, I just read it, you also say you always write songs in kind of purpose to bring truth. Is that same truth you're talking about connecting people, or is it something else?
I think so. I mean, I think that's kind of the obligation of that truth. And maybe it's a perspective of a story that's being told in a song, but it's trying to seek some kind of clarity in music. And I think, to me, the songs that touch me the most, like When a Man Loves a Woman, like everybody can, really identify with what that love is, that passion is. Didn't matter where you're from, but when you hear that, you feel it. That's music. It's not marketed. It's just real.
So you got out your second album, American Mojo, and you're gonna play a song from it, I guess.
Yeah. I will. I'll play a song called "The Boys from Muscle Shoals," which is a dedication to this area. And as a songwriter, I wasn't really writing songs in this manner, but it was my way of kind of learning what the Muscle Shoals sound was. It goes something like this. Have you ever heard how God made rhythm and blues? Just a troubled man, 6 strings and a chord or two. Was the devil at the crossroads in Mississippi and gets all the credit, but all I know, it was the good Lord in heaven and the boys down from Muscle Shoals. They play them swampy beats and lay down them horns and strings, making hit records and little girls scream. Well, God bless the music and the boys down from Muscle Shoals. The first time I heard it, I must have been about 13. Streaming through the speakers of my dad's old GMC. The DJ said that's Bob Seger singing old time rock and roll. Then the band was just a bunch of boys down from Muscle Shoals. They play them swampy beats and lay down them funky grooves. Deep in the pockets of the singer out front had some room. B3's whirlies, horns and strings, making hit records and little girls scream. Well, God bless the music and the boys down from Muscle Shoals. In the day, they came from miles around to make hit records of fame and find that Muscle Shoals sound. The Rolling Stones, Aretha Franklin, and Etta James, Wicked, Wilson Pickett, even Bob Dylan came, and the band was just a bunch of boys down from Muscle Shoals. They play them swampy beats and lay down them funky grooves. Deep in the pockets of the singer out front had some room. B3's whirlies, horns and strings, making hit records and little girls scream. Well, God bless the music and them boys down from Muscle Shoals. Now they're still making music with them boys down from Muscle Shoals. So God bless the music and them boys down from Muscle Shoals.
Woo! Robert Cline Jr. and the boys from Muscle Shoals. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks so much. Thanks for letting me share that with you guys.
So you played in Kova here, and you played in het café De Stam. Is there any places in this vicinity where you're playing soon?
Yes, we have the
Friday, Brasserie de Rotterdammer, vrijdag om 5:30.
Brasserie de Rotterdammer.
Op de Botlekweg in de Botlek.
In de Botlek, oké.
Zaterdag speelt hij in Brouwcafé de Hofnar, Dr. Lelykade Scheveningen. Om 8:30 s'avonds. En zondag om 6:00 in Sijf op de Oude Binnenweg in Rotterdam.
Dat heeft allemaal goed paraat. Hartstikke mooi.
Zit in het kopie.
Really nice. Is there any more songs you would like to share with us?
Well,
would like to play?
I think we should. I'll do another song. We got a big thanks for Yolanda for setting all this up. She is quite the liaison of this area, and we met at this great little venue in Texas. It was tributing one of our favorite artists, a guy named Townes Van Zandt. Okay. And so we got to come here last spring, and Yolanda's been a wonderful host, and she's just can't say more about her. You know, she's. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's do a little song called Mojo. A little drop D here. This song is a tribute to and not the whole album is that way, but is a tribute to the Subdudes. And the Subdudes were originally from New Orleans, and they really turned me on to this whole thing. I got into music late in life, but I met John Magny and Steve Amadei, and got to make my first album and really taught me how to lead a band, and were very, very kind in creating the whole community of what this was all about. So that's what Mojo is all about. And it's also about, the same thing that's in every one of us. It's that intuition, that love, that the good part of humanity, Down in New Orleans, out of the sky, living in the quarter, playing in a band. Walking down the street, a different way home. Saw a voodoo man walking all alone. He said, come with me. And bottles of potions lining the walls, chicken bone chimes clinging in the hall. He said, look here, boy, let's cut through the fluff. I can see there's something eating you up, so tell me what it is. Said I need me some mojo down in my soul to fill up my heart and fill the empty holes. Needs to be good, needs to be right. I don't wanna have to go through life without mojo. Need a little mojo. Whatever you got, I take what you have. You can wrap it all up in this gree bag. Looked at me and gave me a grin. Said I knew I was right to ask you in. I'm gonna help you out. Cause what you seek ain't on no shelf. It's already there inside of yourselves. And the way you live and the way you love, sometimes it comes from the Lord above. So just let it out. Said I need me some mojo down in my soul. Fill up my heart and fill the empty holes. Needs to be good, needs to be right. Don't wanna have to go through life without mojo. Go out and get some mojo. It's inside yourself, mojo. You got to give it to see that mojo. Mojo, go out and get some mojo. It's inside yourself, mojo. You got to give it to see that mojo. Mojo, yeah, 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 nah. Yay, thank you, thank you.
Thank you very much. So, when you wrote this album back in Muscle Shoals, with what people were you working together? Do you have a standard band when you're in America? Here you're touring alone,
well,
like solo?
Yeah, actually, so when I'm in Colorado, I get to play with John and Steve and guys like that, and also have a band in Austin that I'm really fortunate to play with, and then I've got a band in Muscle Shoals. So I do a lot of solo touring, and then get to play with some other bands and do other touring with other artists as well.
You also get to jam with people here in Europe. Now you're here in Europe.
Yes. Thanks to Yolanda, and actually the first part of this trip, I was supposed to be in Sweden and playing with some friends there. So that's the beauty of music. It's the language that everybody can understand, and it's a good part of life, And I think getting to do this has been very humbling in a lot of different ways. I had a different career before I got into this, and I didn't anticipate jumping into like I did, but I was just surrounded by some wonderful people, and I had some great early opportunities. But even then, it's a hardship. But you got to take the hardships, and everybody's got the same walk of life. But it's taking that and then finding the inspiration and sharing it. So getting to share music and time with people from all over the world and country, it's a good thing. And particularly the past couple of years when, America is it's kind of lost itself. There's a lot of division, a lot of divisiveness of what's going on, and it shouldn't be. We've got the right answers inside of us, every one of us, and it makes us all equal. When we try to take that control from somebody else, it backlashes, as you know. I mean, look at history; it tells us that. But the fortunate part about it is getting to tour and see people all over the world doing good things, and that's been the greatest gift.
Is it also something you notice when you're here in Europe? You probably read some things in the news that there's also problems in Europe. There's also more division.
Sure.
Is it something you feel when you're playing to an audience?
Well, it's something we get to talk about and discuss. I mean, it's a certain global issues because we're at a time when we're really all in this together. And if we don't see it that way, we're going to miss out. It's we have the solution, and it's in ourselves. It's the kindness we can give to people who need help, but also rolling up our sleeves and putting in the work. And I think by having those conversations, having the freedom to share ideas and talk to people from different cultures, I think that's pretty special. Holland, I think, is pretty unique because there's all roads have kind of come through here for a long time, and historically, I think most people have a concept of that. So in Muscle Shoals, which is kind of interesting, a couple hundred years ago, was the Trail of Tears, which went through my backyard, like 800 yards, or maybe 500 meters of my home was this Trail of Tears, which was one of the largest trails of genocide in our country. And it's something that people don't talk about much, but it's important to. It's important to acknowledge those things so it doesn't happen again. That's what we've learned from history, is having conversations, being aware. But when we make decisions out of love, not fear, we're doing the right thing,
I think it's a beautiful thing to end this interview with. Is there another song you would like to play? I think we have time for one more.
Sure. Let me tune this up if that's okay.
Okay, no problem.
Because it won't take too long. But that last one was a little funky.
Okay. What's it called?
Let's see. I'll do a song called Granddaddy.
All right.
And it's another thing of mojo. Grandfather is to me the legacy that you leave, to the generations behind you. And I had a really great grandfather. Actually, both of them were really good men. My grandfather, Cline, represented a guy named Jackie Robinson, the baseball player. And so he got to play a unique role in fighting for truth for Jackie Robinson, and he had other examples of that kind of life, and I'm proud of that. And so I got to write this song with a unique guy, too, a gentleman by the name of Earl Peanut Montgomery, which is a American icon if we don't even know it. He was George Jones's guitar player for 17 years and wrote 73 of his songs, in addition to writing songs for like Arthur Alexander, playing on Percy Sledge, covering Bob Dylan, and probably about 400 people that you can think of that have recorded. Emmylou Harris. So he's a granddaddy of country music. His older brother played for Hank Williams. So we got to write this song called Granddaddy. I may live to be 102 and do all the things that a man can do. Fortune and fame ain't what I crave, 'cause I want to be a granddaddy someday. Granddaddy, that's what they'll say when they look me in the eyes and speak my name. It's grounded as a note that'll bend not break, 'cause I want to be a granddaddy someday. A life worth living is a life worth led. A man's handshake means the words he said. Backs it up with blood, sweat, and tears. That's the kind of legacy I want to give. Granddaddy, that's what they'll say when they look me in the eyes and they speak my name. It's grounded as a note that'll bend not break, 'cause I want to be a granddaddy someday. Hard times will come and hearts will break. The man's got to give more than he takes. A life lived with love and a gentle hand. That's the kind of thing that'll make a man grand. Granddaddy, that's what they'll say when they look me in the eyes and speak my name. It's grounded as a note that'll bend not break, 'cause I want to be a granddaddy someday. I want to be more than a good man, 'cause I want to be a granddaddy someday.
Robert Cline Jr., Granddaddy.
With that